If you're trying to figure out how to really be there for your partner or your friend or your whoever that's really going through something in a way that they'll actually appreciate and will actually help them, this video is for you. Because this is a skill that a lot of people, frankly, are terrible at. But these next couple things that we're gonna tell you about have really helped us be there for each other and our friends in ways that have actually helped them. So if that sounds good to you, we are gonna hop right into it. First of all, hi.
Hi.
We're matching today.
We are.
Yeah, we're cozy gang, although this is actually mine.
No, it's not.
Oh, okay. It's all hers, right? Yep.
Yep. All your hoodies are mine.
Yeah.
I try really hard enough.
Oh gosh. Okay, anyways, the first thing that you need to know if you're actually trying to be there for someone is stop trying to fix them and just listen. See, because a lot of people, mostly men, honestly, it's the stereotype that like we're the fixers, you know? If someone has a problem, we try to give advice. We try to talk them out of it in a way because obviously we don't want them, whoever it is, to feel bad. And so we try to talk them out of it. But that is actually the last thing that most people actually need. In order to get over something that you're going through, whatever, you need to feel that your feelings are valid, that someone sees you and they actually understand you, that you're not crazy, and you need someone to have compassion on you. But this way of engaging with people really confronts the way that you deal with your own problems. That's why most guys are fixers, is because that's what most guys do with their emotions. They try to logic their way out of it. They try to like invalidate whatever they're feeling.
Yeah.
And that looks like, oh man, I had like a really rough day. My boss was annoying, whatever. Be like, oh yeah, well like have you like talked to him about it? Like have you done this? Have you done that? It's like, whoa.
It's like blowing way past like the hard emotion is going straight to solutions. And I think that sometimes that lends to the person then feeling like, okay, I'm the problem. Instead of they have a problem that they're working through.
Yeah.
And I think that also, like to your point before of like people just going to fix things, like you can only engage with someone as much as you've engaged with yourself and your own emotions.
Yeah.
Or in other words, like you can only be present with someone as much as you have been present with yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that a lot of the times men do try and solve things and they try and maybe like push away the pain that their partner or even that their friends might be facing because it's the more like safe feeling or familiar or comfortable thing to do, right? Because it could be for a variety of reasons, right? Like maybe like their childhood, they had very overly emotional parents or overly emotional teachers. And so like it's really hard and scary to try and sit with the emotions of somebody else because maybe to them it might feel like, well, these emotions are never going to end and I'm never going to be able to escape them. When the truth is, the moment that someone feels seen and like you are with them in a problem and that you care about their emotions or their feelings about that problem, those emotions come way down.
Yeah.
But the more that you like push
But,
against
yeah,
them,
exactly. It's counterintuitive because we think like we have to talk them out of it and I'll get them out of it faster, but it's the opposite way because emotions don't need to be talked out, they need to be felt. And here's, I think this is where it exposes like a false belief that a lot of people have about feelings is that they're just like, if I allow myself or anyone else to feel these feelings, then they're going to totally overwhelm me. They're going to just like totally control my life. And then I'm just a slave to my feelings at that point, or this other person's feelings.
Yeah.
But good thing to remember, all feelings are temporary. There's no such thing as a permanent feeling. And so there's no need to be scared of just feeling the feeling.
Totally.
Oh, because that is the only surefire way to work through it, as opposed to stuff it down until it like blows up at you later, right?
There's no way over it, no way under it.
And I go through it.
And it's not just men. Honestly, I find myself a lot in that situation where I'll try to explain something away, or I'll try and give advice, or I'll ask I'll try and like give solutions to emotions that Dan might be feeling, and that doesn't help. It like amplifies the feeling because he's like, no, you're not like hearing me. You're not understanding that there is a real pain point here. And it's not that like I don't want to listen to what you're feeling. I think that sometimes like I do get scared. It's like, what if you get stuck there? Then I'm just gonna be subject to your emotions the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I'm like,
one thing you're gonna realize is that I'm truly the woman in this relationship.
no, you're not.
Hey, but it's helpful for you that I'm more temperamentally affirming as opposed to invalidating.
No, absolutely. Yeah, because then it's helped me heal a lot, actually.
Just to speak to that point, like no one wants to be talked to like they're stupid, right? And
Yeah.
like a lot of times the solution is simple. And then it's like, why are you telling me this? I obviously already know. I'm not dumb. I'm just trying to share how I feel, right? And I'm sure you've experienced this at one point or another where you're trying to talk someone out of feeling what they're feeling and it like really doesn't work. Or they just shut down and they like pretend that like what you said really helped them, but like really it's just like, yeah, I can't talk to you.
Yeah.
I can't really be that close to you. And so if you want a close friendship where people actually feel safe to talk to you, this is a good skill to learn, is to just learn to sit with your own emotions. Don't be scared of them, because that way you have that gift to give to people. You know, you can give something away that
You don't have.
you don't have. And so
Totally. And then part of listening, it's not just that you're hearing the words that are coming out of somebody else's mouth, is that you're listening actively.
Yeah.
So maybe you're gonna say, well, it sounds like you must be feeling blah blah blah. You know, you're gonna fill in the blank.
yeah.
And then you can also affirm the things that they are.
Yeah, wait, hold on, because you said something that's actually so much more powerful than people realize. Because like so much of our pain that we're feeling based on certain situations is that like we don't know if anyone is quite hearing what we're feeling in our brain. Then like someone just saying it out loud, like that breaks people
Yeah.
in itself.
For me, like I had a trusted, like a spiritual mom or like a mentor who one time, like years ago, she's like, it sounds like you just feel really misunderstood. And I just lost it because I'm like, oh my goodness, I finally have language to something that I've been feeling my entire life.
Yeah.
And I had no idea. But it took someone who was listening actively without judging my emotions, without trying to explain it away.
Yeah.
They listened and they found the core.
They
of
listened
what-
and they didn't judge.
Exactly. Part of listening is like it then invites you to affirm the other person, right?
And this does not mean you agree that they should be feeling however they feel. Feelings aren't right or wrong, they're just there. You know, all feelings are information that something's either right inside here or wrong inside here. I think this is a big blocker for people in terms of like being a good listener, is that they're afraid that if they affirm that, you know what, that anger is valid, that disappointment is valid, they're afraid that it'll give them permission almost to act out in unhealthy ways.
Yeah.
But you could affirm a feeling without affirming all the thoughts that the feelings are creating.
Yeah, so an affirmation might sound like, man, like it really sounds like you're feeling sad and upset, and I'm really sorry that you were rejected in this case, or
Yeah.
I'm sorry that like you're going through this.
It really makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it makes sense that you'd be feeling that way. You know, so I think you're helping that person feel like they're not crazy for what they're feeling, and that is a game changer.
It's huge, yeah.
Second point is you need to get good at asking questions. Be curious about what the person is feeling.
Yes.
So, like a lot of the times when somebody is in a trigger or they're having a really hard time, they don't really know what's going on. Right?
yeah.
So the better you get at asking them pointing questions or leading questions, it'll help them process what they're feeling a little bit better. And then it'll also help you get a deeper understanding
Yes.
of what they're feeling or facing.
Yeah, like a lot of times we just start talking, assuming that we have fully understood what's going on inside them. Like, this is lots of times I've been sharing with people, and then they're like, oh, this one thing happened to me and it was like really bad. And I'm like, that's absolutely nothing like what I said. But like, I get where you got that from, but I'm like, if you had like asked a little bit more, you would have understood, oh yeah, no, that's like totally different.
Yeah, exactly. And some of those questions might be like, what is the emotion that you're feeling right now? Or like, what kind of things led you to feel that way? Or something like as interesting as, where are you feeling it in your body right now? Just getting them to pay attention to where they're feeling it in their body. Sometimes
I
you
mean,
don't
that's like
want
next
to.
level for these guys. Like,
Love
I thought that was so weird for so long, but
Yeah.
it is valid. But yeah, asking questions is a great practical thing to do. Asking questions is probably my favorite method of making people understand themselves, but also like
helping people understand themselves.
Yes, to make them, I control them to handle themselves.
And sometimes it works, and sometimes it'll make them feel really uncomfortable.
Yes.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
The discomfort is probably because they're beginning to face feelings that they've never faced before.
Yeah, no, this is a really good point because, you know, I realize I'm probably pretty different to most people because most people are very afraid of their emotions. Because sometimes people will be sharing something casually that they're struggling with, and I'll start like asking them about it, like genuinely wanting to know. But then it's like, oh, I did not want to focus on that. Oh gosh, let me give like a half answer, half like move on to another subject. And I'm like, you know what? That's fair. You can deal with things on your own pace or whatever. Because some people are ready for that, some people aren't. And then the third point, last point, it's very easy. Kind of sounds like a cop-out, but you have to leave it up to God at the end of the day. Because I know like people with a lot of empathy, they have a really hard time with surrendering control, especially if it's someone you love. You don't want them to suffer, you don't want them in pain. And you know, even selfishly, it's like sometimes I want her to be okay so that she could like be all nice to me and like sweet, but I'm like, I can't control her. That's why we started with talking about like, don't just try to talk people out of it, because sometimes it's coming from an unselfish place where we're just trying to give what we know to give, what we think is good to give. But a lot of times it's actually not. A lot of times it's like purely so that you could get what you want out of someone.
Or it's because you're uncomfortable with their feelings and that you just want to feel safe and okay.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, obviously if you want to have good Christ-centered relationships, you can't think selfishly about that kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, that's true. And I coming back to just committing someone to the Lord, right? It's like at the end of the day, it's okay to do that. You know, you can tap out and say, God, I actually don't know how to help in this case. I don't know what this person needs, but you do, right? Because God has endless empathy, endless compassion, and endless solutions and words and encouragement that that person needs. You can even just offer to pray for the person in the moment. It speaks volumes.
Yeah, like even today we were at church and then like someone just like put their hand on my back to pray for me for a bit, but nah, it just meant so much to me that like someone cared enough to talk to God on my behalf. And so, you know, like don't underestimate that. I know especially in the Christian world it's gonna be like, oh, like I'll pray for you, and it's very like trite. It's like a pleasantry.
It's like a Band-Aid.
Yeah, but you know, if prayer is powerless, then God is powerless. But that's just not true.
Prayer changes things.
Exactly.
Right? And you'll find the answers that you need, and even if you don't find those answers in the moment, like you'll be strengthened. You know, you can be filled with encouragement and peace about things, even though they haven't changed.
Yeah. And just as much as God is able to fix our external situations and make that all work out for good, it's the same with our insides. That's where he wants to work the most if he's invited to. And also, I don't really believe that you can truly be a compassionate, good listener for someone if you don't know Jesus. Because he's the only one that could really give that to you unlimitedly.
Yeah.
And so, not to say that there aren't like non-believers who aren't trained to know the tools and stuff like that, but like at the end of the day, like once you have God pouring into you, this should just be an overflow. This should just be a natural result of God being loving to you. And so he teaches you how to love others based on how you've let him love you. And so
that's awesome.
However, if you or someone you love is just going through a hard time right now and it's causing you guys to butt heads a lot, you should check out our last podcast on how we handle conflict. And leave a comment if any of these things resonated with you. All right, see you in the next video. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.